Hey girl, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, thank you so very much for clicking on this video. My name is Jasmine and I want to welcome you to this journey of us feeling comfortable, confident, and educated about our hair so we could go out into the world and not worry about what anybody else thinking, because we know we are a bomb. And in this video, I'm going to give you the basics that we need to know and understand for our hairs to flourish, for our hair to look the best that it can be, and for our hair to just grow and be healthy. So if you want to know the basics for textured hair, you're in the right spot. So there are a few basic things that we need to know dealing with our textured hair, and I think the most important thing to know is porosity. Porosity is the ability for your hair to absorb moisture, and then there are three types of porosity. So there's low, there's medium to normal, and then there's high porosity. And in my opinion, I think you also need to know how thick or fine or thin your hair strand is, because that will determine the consistency of the products that you need to use along with your porosity. And then density, how many hair strands you have on your head per square inch. So that's important. So knowing your hair porosity is very important, as I stated in the intro, and that is the ability of your hair to absorb moisture, and that will determine what type of products that you need to use and how to apply them, and what extra steps that you need to take to make sure that your hair is getting the proper nutrients and moisture that it needs to flourish, grow, and be healthy. So let's get into all of the porosity. So low porosity is the inability for moisture to penetrate the hair cuticle, and that is because the hair cuticle is laying flat. So when you're dealing with low porosity hair, your hair would need help for the cuticles to open to allow the moisture in. High porosity is your cuticles remaining open, so all the moisture or the water, whatever that you're using, is going straight in and evaporating, so it's not closing back. And the normal porosity, there is no issue with your hair getting moisture in and retaining the moisture. So doing my research, with low porosity, they say it can be genetic, and low porosity, you just have to figure out a way to get the moisture in there. And in my personal journey and experience, especially with deep conditioner, using heat or steam allows the cuticles to open up just for that time, so the product can seep in there, so you can get the moisture into your hair strands. With high porosity, I read that it's from any damage that happened from chemicals, coloring, anything like that, aside of, just regular products, is damage from your hair. And then medium to high porosity, you're lucky if you have that. So one way you can tell if you have low porosity hair, as seen in this clip, if you spray your hair with water and the water sits on top of your hair. So that means, as I said before, that the hair cuticles is closed and it's hard for the water or the moisture to penetrate. So that is one way that you can tell. And with low porosity hair, it takes my hair a little while to get wet. And for the water to absorb, you can see here, I have to continuously spray my hair with water and work it in. Again, here's another clip of, this is after I either shampooed my hair or rinsed out the conditioner. I think it's after I shampooed my hair. You can see that the water particles are sitting on top of my hair strands. That is the water that did not make it inside the hair cuticle. So that's another way to tell if you have low porosity hair. Unfortunately, I don't have a live example of what high porosity hair looks like, but if you're wetting your hair and you wet your hair and as soon as you stop, it feels like it's drying up, that's high porosity hair, because again, the cuticles are open and they remain open, and that's why as soon as your hair gets wet or feel like it's getting moisturized, the water or the moisture just evaporates out. And another way to tell what type of porosity you have is by doing the strand test. So you take a bowl of water or a cup, you drop a piece of hair into it, and then you give it a few minutes, and if it floats in the middle, you have normal to if it floats in the middle, you have normal to medium porosity. If it floats at the top, you have low porosity. And if it sinks all the way to the bottom, you have high porosity. And this is an example of what that may look like. Again, I'm sorry, I don't have an example of high porosity, but I do have an example of low porosity because I am low porosity. So next we have product absorption, and that goes back to hair porosity. Product absorption is the ability for the products to get past the outer layer of your hair strand down into the hair cuticle. That way your hair is getting the moisture and is locking in the moisture, and also getting the right nutrients that it's supposed to get from the products that you're using. So choosing the right products with the right ingredients is very important for your hair to grow and be healthy and moisturized and to flourish the way that it should be flourishing. For example, again, I have low porosity hair. So with low porosity hair, because the cuticles are laying flat and they need help to lift up so the product and or moisture can absorb into the hair cuticle, we are prone to product buildup, which isn't good, because that will hinder your hair growth and your hair being healthy as possible. So making sure that it's the right consistency. So with low porosity hair, a lighter consistency, as I will show you in this clip, a lighter consistency is very important for low porosity hair. And trust me, using the wrong product will have your hair screaming to be washed. As you can see, I had so much product buildup because I just used the wrong product. And I knew better, because the consistency of the product was very creamy and thick, and I just knew better, but I still wanted to try it because it said hydration on the container. Using the right product is very, very important for how your hair will last throughout the week, and determine if you need to wash your hair after day 2. So then next we have hair thickness and density, and yes, there is a difference between the two. So hair thickness is the width of each hair strand on your head, and that would determine the type of consistency. With the products that you're using. And then density is how many hair strands that you have on your head per square inch. So there's a difference. So again, hair thickness, it can either be fine, medium, or thick, and density, it can be low or high or medium density. So combining what we talked about, the porosity of your hair and then also the thickness or thinness of your hair, is very important for the type of products that you're going to use. So like for me, I have low porosity and I have fine-ish hair strands, so I can't use that heavy of a product because it will weigh my hair down, and then that will also create a lot of product buildup. And then so if your hair strands are fine, on the finer side, you want to use like lightweight products. So again, your hair is not weighed down by the products. And if your hair strands are on the thicker side or coarser side, you want to use a little bit of heavier products, and also butters like shea butter or mango butter. So let's talk essentials, basic essentials with dealing with your hair. In my opinion, using heat or steam with your deep conditioner is very important. So a hooded dryer, and or a dryer with a hooded detachable, and or a steamer is very important. So I like to apply the deep conditioner on my hair, and as you can see, this deep conditioner is probably a little bit too heavy for my hair, but I love the way it makes my hair feel. But as I'm editing the video, I'm like, maybe this deep conditioner is a little bit too heavy and too creamy for my hair. I also use TGIN, their honey line. Their deep conditioner is a little lighter and my hair loves that. And then also their RX line. Again, the deep conditioner is a little lighter and my hair loves that. So low porosity hair, again, this is a bad example, but you want to use lighter products. And I also want to show you how my hair looks after I sit under the hooded dryer for 20 minutes. So I apply the deep conditioner on my hair. I sit under the hooded dryer for 20 minutes. And then you can see that the product starts to absorb into my hair cuticles because of the steam. The steam opens up the cuticles so the product can seep in. It didn't absorb everything because, again, the product is a little bit too heavy for my hair. But with heat or steam, it allows the cuticles to open up to allow that product in. So I think adding a heat steamer or a hooded dryer is very important. You can also add a dimming brush. I don't really use that. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I grab it to use it, but I mainly use my fingers. But I know people that use it to define their curls when they're doing a wash and go. A wide tooth comb to help get those tangles out. And yeah, I think that's the only tools, in my opinion, basic tools that you need in conjunction with the products that you're using. So I hope that this video helped you understand the basics with figuring out your hair and what works and what's not working, and why what you're doing may not be working. So again, porosity, how your hair absorbs moisture and or product. Low porosity is the cuticles laying flat, high porosity is the cuticles staying open, and then medium and normal porosity, which you're lucky if you have that, is you don't have any issues with your hair retaining moisture or getting moisture into the hair cuticles. And then how thick or fine your hair strands is also will determine the type of consistency of products that you're going to use. And then just the hair essentials, the hooded dryer, steamer, white tooth comb, and denim brush. Oh, and hair clips as well, and bobby pins, and I think that's it. Oh, and conditioning cap is very important. So I hope this video, gave you some insight. The next video in this series, the Textured Basics 101 series, I'm going to discuss the type of products and ingredients in those products that you will need for specific porosity. Because again, it is very important that you use the right amount of products. It is very important that you use the right products and how you apply your products to make sure that your hair is lasting, to make sure that it's moisturized and growing and healthy. So until next time, I want you to be well, protect your peace and happiness, protect your heart and your soul, and just go out there and do everything that you need to do to make sure that you're living the life that you want to live.